How you feeling today?
I'm feeling good, thank God. Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I am. I'm
Okay.
feeling good. I got some things done that I want to accomplish, and great.
Okay. Okay. So this is gonna be posted on YouTube. Okay. And after I'm done editing it, I'm gonna show you what I've come up with. So
Okay.
my channel is actually on the incline right now.
Yeah.
I'm like about 6 or 7 people away from my first 1,000
Okay.
subscribers.
Ooh.
So it's not easy. It's a challenge, but I found a niche that I feel like people can appreciate.
Mhm.
And to be honest with you, people really, really do love to hear the stories of other people because we've talked about this before. Like
Yeah.
you don't know who's going through whatever it is they're going through. It
Yeah.
may be something you've already been through,
Yeah.
and you know,
Well, whatever it is, I hope, and I just I've already gave God the gave God the floor, and I'm telling him, I'm like, I just pray that whatever it is I say, and however it is I say it, it can help somebody.
yeah,
It does touch somebody because really, to me, that's kind of my one of my main important things. Just as a person, I think that's just something that I do naturally as a person. I'm always trying to even and not necessarily tell my whole story, but tell a portion of my story to help them build, to help them grow. Hopefully, there's something inside of it they can glean from it, and it helps them, even if it's a minor point in life, even if it's as simple as just having a little bit more joy in your day.
yeah.
I just hope that it helps.
Okay, all right. So your name is
Tracy.
Miss Tracy. Tracy.
Yeah.
That's like a that's an old school name right there. I don't
Hmm.
hear that name a lot
No,
anymore.
no.
Like
And to top it off, it means courage.
courage, really.
Courage.
You know what? That part right there, I love the fact that your name
Yeah.
actually has meaning to it.
Yeah.
Because there's some parents out here that are just name their kids
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have any type of substance to it, but they'll just name them
Yeah.
according to whatever they were on that day.
Yeah, a
Or I
part of
just
this, a part of that, a part of that, which is
yeah,
cute and all. I
yeah,
love it. I mean, that it has its meaning in that way, but
yeah,
it's not. I'm gonna stay out of there.
yeah. Right. But then the kid has to grow up like, man, why did they name me this? Like Montravius, just like, oh
Yeah.
my God.
Well, that's where the nicknames come in. A lot
Yeah.
of people replace it with nicknames, and that's something that I don't understand. Especially, forgive me, Lord, coming from where I come from, up north is,
Mhm.
when we call you, if your name is James, we call you James.
Yeah.
Being here is like they call you James, and your name is Nick Nick. Hey Nick Nick,
Wow.
and it's something I said, why don't you, because so many people do it,
Yeah.
and there's lots of people that I've met here where I actually don't know their actual real names. I have these beautiful young ladies. There's a woman that's a friend of mine, acquaintance of mine, and she has these 3 daughters, and I've never. She told me her daughter's name like once or twice, but because she always called them by their nickname, I have no idea what these girls' name are, and they are so lovely.
Mm.
I love them. I love them, love them, love them, and I have no idea what the hell the names are. I don't
It's a little
know.
bit too late to ask.
Yeah,
What's
I
your
just
names
call them by the
again?
nickname now because I don't know. So
I've made that mistake of like, you ever just been around somebody like a lot, but you just never, either you forgot their name or you just didn't know their name at all.
yeah, I
You
just
know,
talk to you. If you're there,
yeah.
I just talk to you.
You know what I do?
Eventually,
Let me
but
tell you what I do. I always say, hey, I got another phone. So I'm kind of trying to put my contacts back in my phone. Let me get your number. Spell your
smart
name for
move,
me.
smart move.
And then they not even thinking about it, just spell their name. I'm like, and then it goes off
There
in
you
my head
go.
like, it was so simple. How could I
Yeah,
not remember that?
yeah, yeah.
So, but yeah, that's crazy. All right, Tracy. So we've known each other. Ooh, I think I met you this summer of 2023. I
Yeah,
want to say
yeah. Summer 2023.
2023. And for those
Mm-hmm.
of y'all who don't know, Tracy is my client. I'm her personal trainer. And I remember like it was yesterday, like when you reached out to me. I had just came back from vacation, and you had texted me and said that an acquaintance had gave you my number, and then you were looking,
Yeah.
to work out,
Yeah.
and you felt like it
Yeah.
was the
Yeah.
right thing. You felt like God put it on your heart to do it. And I think I don't know if I told you I was stacked or busy or something. But I know at first when you reached out, we didn't immediately like get
Mhm.
together. It took a little time.
Mhm.
And then one day we just went ahead and made it official. And
Mhm.
we've been
Yeah.
training
You
together
had
ever
a
since.
lot of clients.
Yeah, around that
A
time.
lot of clients at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was glad to be able to get in because God knows I needed it.
Right. Right. It's it's just amazing though. Like, sometimes I'll have like training clients and sometimes it's just that and that's it.
Mhm.
And we never really build like a deep connection.
Mhm.
Which is okay. I'm not opposed to it because some people they just want to come and they want to work out and then they want to be on about their day. But then there's other people because I've been doing this for nearly 15 years.
Mhm.
This coming July,
Mhm.
and but there I could just think off the top of my head the people that I've like grown to like have some sort of like connection with. And it's not just business,
Yeah.
because I kind of struggle with that a little bit
Mhm.
with trying to just keep it 100% business and not,
Mhm.
keep feelings out of it. It's hard when you're dealing with somebody on a personal level,
Yeah. It is.
because
It
when
is.
you're working out with people, they're already in a vulnerable state.
Mhm.
And some of these people don't have like nobody else to talk to, and it's kind of, you kind of confide in them. I trust this person. I love this person's helping me. So by nature, we're human and
Mhm.
we just kind of like, we just mesh. And
Mhm.
that's kind of, our conversations. We work out and we talk. I feel like
Mhm.
it's not just a physical thing, it's mental, it's
It's
spiritual.
so much. It
Yeah.
really is. One of the things that I'm thankful that you do, and I'm thankful for, and I'm glad it's a concern, because it is important on many levels. Two part. One is as a client, it is one of the most beautiful things to be able to have someone that you can actually talk to when you can talk to them, and actually they are a genuine person. They truly are concerned. They truly are giving you the ear to listen and not just passing you off or pacifying you.
Yeah.
So that's number one. Number two, that's one of your blessings that God has given you, and that's one of the things that God has given you to work out as well, simply because you have a two-part thing going on. You're not only dealing with the body, you're dealing with the mind, you're dealing with the spirit, the body, and the soul.
Yeah.
So by you doing all of that in your own way, I mean, a lot of times people will have said to me in my lifetime that maybe I need to be a counselor or someone like that,
Yeah.
and I'm not opposed to talking with people and actually having to hear and hopefully can help in some way. um However, I do believe that sometimes God just really truly blesses you with the gift to be able to do those things. That's part of in the growth and having discernment and just having a heart and kindness and having a heart towards God, or just being a really,
Mm,
it's that certain something inside your inner self that actually allows you to allow people,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And I do believe that that's a gift within itself. So heck yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I do get that you don't want to keep put too much of that inside your conversation. That's also another thing where you can work out, and also as a party of mine can work out. Because for instance, like myself,
Yeah.
I was thinking, like sometimes when we have our sessions or something like that,
Uh,
because I do love talking with you. You like talking with me,
yeah.
and I was thinking, okay, although I dig it how we do it though. We talk in between the moments, and
Yes.
it's great because sometimes those moments are the best moments because it's raw, it's real, it's there.
Yeah.
Um, but sometimes I understand because sometimes you want to kind of get a certain you get your workout in and get your focus on and get your mind in the game 100 completely totally, and then sometimes either before the session or after the session
Mm,
have time for the conversation.
yeah.
But at the same token, the little mix about that is something's going to well when I'm trying to get it out of my mouth right.
Yeah.
Okay, what I'm trying to say is
Uh,
when you have both going on at the same time simultaneously, sometimes certain things lack. Now,
Yeah.
I think if there's something lacking, then that's the time to say, okay, well, let's just get focused for a minute. Let's pause right there, hold that note, and maybe in a session we'll talk about that after. We'll talk about that before.
Yeah.
Or if you have a thought, I think you're working just fine, and I think I do. I don't have a problem with it either.
Hmm.
And but I'm with you. I think it's just a thing where you just got to feel it out.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
just got to feel it out.
And again, it depends on who I'm dealing with. I'm pretty
Mm-hmm.
good about gauging, the
Mm-hmm.
type of person that I'm dealing with. You know, I treat everybody the same, but at the same time, I don't. Everyone I give the service to people as I should, but at the same time, I know there's some people I can be a little loose with. Then there's some people I'm like, I can be a little stern with, which is not a problem. I mean, I don't have an issue with it because, like I said, everyone's coming to you for their different reasons. There are some people that come who don't necessarily have like socializing problems. They have friends, they got acquaintances, they marry, they whatever. And then there's other people who are going through stuff, going through a divorce, going through a separation, problems with their kids, or just all different type of things. And I don't think that people mean to bring it to the workout, but I think that for that individual, I think that is what they probably should do because they are
Sometimes they
trying
need
to,
it.
yeah,
And honestly,
yeah,
I say thank you.
yeah,
I say thank you because honestly, I was one of them people,
right,
and I didn't necessarily come to meet with you and to get in this workout to actually get into things of personal life and spiritual life. However, it was wonderful to have that. Honestly, I'm just gonna say it was nice to have you there, a person there. It was
yeah,
nice to have you there, a person who is concerned and considerate to even give out the time.
right,
Because God knows, I'm gonna tell you what, you helped me a lot.
yeah,
You helped me to be able to balance sometimes. You helped me able to focus and you helped me to get some energy off. Okay, so it's a wonderful thing to walk away from a moment and actually feel like something good came out that moment versus a lot of times when I have spoken to people, not necessarily about anything,
yeah,
but just an interaction. Sometimes I walk away and I'm like, well, why did you say that? Well, why did you do that? Well, why did you go here? Why did you let them know this? Why did you go here? Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you pick that up? Why didn't you go? So much stuff goes through, well, my
yeah,
mind
of course,
sometimes,
right,
and it's the anxiety of feeling comfortable. It's the you know wondering about if this person received, heard, felt, understood what you said.
yeah,
And for me, I've always really been a hard thinker. So with
yes, you
me, a
are,
lot of times I think and I analyze, and I'm thankful for where I've come to from where I've been with all of that, because and again, these are the areas where I thank God that I've already gone through some processes and come to some terms, but this is an area also where you've helped me as well, because you've helped me to be able to feel okay. I have never walked away from a session with you or a moment with you in conversation where I've said, dang, I should have said that. Man, never.
yeah,
Because anytime I walked away from you, you've always given me something to chew on or something to think about or something to lift up my spirit or something to give me an understanding that, don't let that take you anywhere further than where God is going to build you from.
right,
And that's what I like. You don't get that from many people. It's hard to find.
right,
And I think people are just, honestly, people are afraid because people are just so mean these days. They're so detached, self absorbed,
yeah,
self concerned, self protective, and they're they're uh defensive and they're
yeah,
standoffish
yeah,
and they're afraid. They're afraid. I went to the store one day,
yeah,
and there was a little boy in the store with his mom, and he had to be about 7, 8 years old. And there was these candies that this store has in there that I haven't seen since I was a kid. So I'm excited about these candies. Your kid's gonna get some too. I went and bought a whole box.
oh Lord, oh no,
and I fell in love with these candies when I was a kid. So either way, the store has them, and the lady was in there, the kid was in there. They were talking, kids doing what they normally do, and I'm just looking at the pleasantness. I'm enjoying. That's where I think I may sometimes come off weird to somebody because in my heart I'm looking at the beauty of the moment.
Yeah.
And I'm loving it. And
Mm-hmm.
here it is, I'm smiling and nobody knows why I'm smiling. Then I'm like, you know what? I went and decided to buy this kid a lollipop.
Yeah.
So I went and go get the kid, get the lollipop. I went ahead and paid for it. And then I went like this. I was like, hey, is it okay if I give him this lollipop? I'm like, I love these lollipops when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, okay, yes, you can give it to him. And I'm like, why so weird? You just saw me standing here. It's just a kind gesture to offer someone. But now when you give a kind gesture to some people are looking at you like you are Raven
Yeah.
Stark
Like,
mad.
what do you want from me? What are you
Why
trying to
you here?
do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
People are very, very on edge and defensive now. I remember last week when when we were out at the track. I was with somebody else, and there was this group that hadn't been coming out there ever, and they just started coming out there recently. And then I left my hoodie where the seats are, like where we work out at, and I was on the other side of the field. And then some of them were like kind of sitting in the area where my hoodie was. So I'm like, let me go get my hoodie. I forgot it was over there. So I walked up. There was about three of them sitting down, three guys, um, looked like us. You know. But we walked up, and I walked up, and I didn't want to like walk directly in front of them to make it look weird. So I kind of just went around the back and then just kind of grabbed my hoodie. I thought I was doing the right thing, and then dude, like he like looked back at me like, "What are you doing, man?" I'm like, "Just get my hoodie, dude. What's wrong with you? Like, chill.
Yeah,
Why are you
yeah,
like on edge?
yeah,
Like, calm down."
yeah,
Calm down.
yeah.
So, and then that was the end of that. And there was another time. This was many years ago. I went to get some gas. Just pumping gas. Just pulled up. There was another guy already outside. Pumping gas. I get out of the car, come pump gas, and he's like just looking at me, just grilling. I'm like, wow, like this has got to be like some deep hatred. Like, what is
I
wrong
don't
with
know
you,
what's going
man?
on with
Like,
that.
what's
I really
what's your
don't.
deal,
I
man?
don't
Like, chill
know.
out. Like, why is everybody like? I don't say everybody, but why are there so many people out here that are like so on edge? And man, I don't know. Maybe it's life experience. Maybe it's trauma, possibly. Which is one of the reasons I wanted to do this with you. Talk about you because you said something about 5 minutes ago. Like, I went through a lot, and where I am now, it took a long time for me to get to where I am right now. So let's kind of dive transition into that,
Cool.
a little bit. So let's just start from the top, like where you from, and just
Okay.
who is Tracy?
Whew. Who is Tracy? Partially learning myself. So, okay, I'm originally from New York. Never thought that I'd live anywhere besides there. Still love it. I hate that it's not as it was once was as when I was growing up. It was the stuff, baby.
Oh, yeah.
So now here I live here in Florida, and now I have been here for about 20 years, and I have two boys. They're pretty grown. I have one grandson. Love him. He's an awesome kid. Oh my gosh, he's so awesome. Um,
Very competitive.
He's awesome. I don't know, just
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
Period. Period. Stamp that exclamation point.
yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
Period. So I've been down there now, and I've came down here to take care of my dad. My dad had terminal cancer, and I didn't know he had it for 5, 6 years, from somewhere in there. And he calls me one day for my job when I was in New York, and 2 days later I flew down here and I stayed here, and that was a trip. My father wasn't necessarily He wasn't a bad person, but he wasn't one of the nicest people. At least I have to say to me. It's not that he didn't love me. I'm sure he loved me, but he had his own way of showing that love. It still confuses the crap out of me.
Right.
But I survived it, and it didn't change anything of how I feel for him. And just, I needed to understand a lot about that period of time of childhood till adulthood with my father and my mother. My father was from Florida here. He was from, I don't like necessarily telling everybody's
Yeah.
direction,
Yeah.
but we're from Florida, and my mom is from the islands.
Okay.
My mom was a mother where, beautiful lady, God knows. She's always been fiery and exciting, and she's she's mom.
It's mama. Yeah.
She's
What can
mom,
you really say?
you know. And I thank God for everything that they did teach me and that they did put inside me. And I thank God for God being there with me in these processes,
Yeah.
because one of the things that I have learned, and it's not to put anything or anyone down.
Mhm.
We're not really tight with my family at all.
Okay.
My family, out of my mother and my father, there's like 17, 18 siblings, and I'm the baby. I am
Whew.
the one that's in the middle between both of them. I am the only child that my parents had between all their kids together. So I kind of grew up as an only child because everyone was really pretty much older than me and off on their own, doing their own thing.
Okay.
Okay, so kind of nobody loved the baby. Uh,
Mm.
they were mad because I had their dad, and they were mad because I had their mother, and apparently I was a child that was loved the most, or blah blah blah. I was spoiled. One of my sisters, when my father passed away,
Mhm.
they came down for the funeral and all, and one of my sisters was on the phone and told someone, of course she's gonna get everything. She's a spoiled, rotten, rich maggot.
Not the rich.
So,
Not the rich.
yeah.
Maggot.
So either way, point being this, I thank God that whatever strength that God gave me along the way, He really did.
Yeah.
Now, bringing it to current date, I love every single one of them, my family members. I really do. I love them. It's just that I seem to be different in my own way. I never really saw things the way they saw things. I never thought that those certain concepts were right for me, or for just in general when it came to family. I just thought it was strange. I don't think anyone inside a family should treat their family like you would treat somebody outside of the street. I understand that family can be complicated, people can be complicated, and
Yes.
I understand also that sometimes you can find family outside your family.
Hey.
And I'm really starting to, God has really have blessed me with a family that is outside my family,
Mhm.
and He's still blessing me with people in my life, and I can't tell you that I thank God for certain particular people that I know for sure God has placed into my life, because those people built me up. They put me on my feet and they gave me strength. They allowed me to have identification. They allowed me to have a being. They allowed me to have foundation and solidness, and realize that I was worth something.
Yeah.
So, man, I can never show my gratefulness
Yeah.
to those people in my life. And I always tell them when I can how grateful I am still, because they came around from the time of my late 20s into my early 30s.
Mhm.
And I was really, really broken. And I had a lot. God knows I had a lot to work. I was just telling God today, I was like, man,
Mm.
thank you so much for the work that you're doing in me and continually doing, because, man, you had a lot of work to do and you still are doing a lot of work.
Yeah.
And it really truly made me realize how affected I was by all the things. And I really truly can't even describe how thankful I am to God for somehow blessing me to have been a strong child and a strong person and a strong girl and a strong lady and a strong woman. All the above. Because God knows I have dealt with a lot of trials in my life.
Yeah.
And man, so now here it is again. I live in Florida,
Okay.
and my boys are grown. I'm still dealing with a lot of people and a lot of things and a lot of confusion. I found that God blessed me to have a strength and a boldness and a forwardness that is not always comfortable for people. And I got to that point where I said, okay, God, well, if it's you bless me with this boldness. One time I asked him to kind of simmer it down, and actually he boosted it up. And I was like, what are you doing?
Right.
Why are
You
you
gotta be,
making
gotta,
me
you gotta
say
be
these
careful.
things?
Be
Why
careful
am I
what you
having to
say.
have this conversation? Why am I having to put this on the table for
Yeah.
this person?
Yeah.
And I actually got to a point where I was very angry at that.
Yeah.
I was not happy because I did not like having to tell people the things I needed to tell them. I did not like having to do the things I needed to do because I always seemed like I was the person who was being gruff. And I didn't want to be gruff. I was trying to give some love, but I'm just, and then to top it off, I have an island as my mother, so I had a lot of passion
Yeah.
and fieriness and then, it's just, I thank God for taking me through a process. He put me in a lot of hard places to learn better means. Uh, One of the things that I wanted to do is that I don't want to out my passion, and I don't want to minimize my strength or the goal or the hope.
Yeah.
But I do realize that I wanted to be able to give a person the seed. A friend of mine says there's a difference of when you give a seed and you're throwing it on the ground to germinate,
Yeah.
or you put it on top of the ground
Yeah.
to germinate, or you actually go into that soil
Take
and
your time.
prep the soil and
Yep.
put the seed in
Big
there.
difference. Big
There is a
difference.
big difference. And I did not realize how much I was thrashing my seeds because I so want you to get this.
Yeah.
I so want you to learn. I so want you to stop. I so want you to feel better.
Right.
Get it.
Yeah. That's the passion though. When you know something and you feel something and you want to make your point, and you like here, just understand it, take it, receive it, and some people are like,
Yeah, yeah,
we
yeah,
talked about this a while back. Um, One of the first things I remember you mentioning to me was like, you feel like some people would say you're kind of like too much, or you come off as mean or aggressive, and then you said maybe I should like tone it down a little bit. And I told you no,
yeah, you
no,
did.
you shouldn't.
Yeah, you did.
Don't dim your light. I'm gonna just say it. Don't dim your light for soft people.
Yeah,
And that's the problem with this world.
Yeah.
Everybody, let's all keep it, super positive and soft. Like hardness doesn't have a place in this world. Like, we've heard the word tough
yeah.
love
People don't
before.
really like you to tell them anything anymore.
No, no,
They really
don't.
taking it real, real personally. It's one of the wonderful things that I think that was a blessing for us growing up. I'm not sure about your generation, but mine is we had people telling us, okay, don't go over there, don't do that because that thing is right there. It's going to be a problem for you later, and I need you to go ahead and go sit down. Or I need you to go ahead and go over there and do something else. We didn't take that as them being punishing us. We took that as they're telling us something that is informational and protective. That's how we took it. We didn't take it as who you talking to? You ain't my mama. You ain't.
Yeah.
We did not do that. And I'm so thankful we did not do that because that stuff helped us also have a foundation and grow.
Right.
If you don't have somebody passing on information, how will you learn unless you just want to keep bumping into the wall and knocking a hole into your
You
head?
don't learn unless somebody does pass it down to you. That's why a lot of people make the mistakes that they make now because there was no provision There was nobody that sat them down that said, hey, this is the way, that's the way, do this, do that. This is the problem now with people.
Yeah.
A whole generation of people who are just, who don't, number one, who feel like they know everything. Number two, they don't want to receive what it is you have to say. They want you to say it a certain type of way and not this way and that way.
Truth.
Which is why I was saying, like, don't change who you are for nobody, because there's a certain way you got to talk to people just for them to get the point. Like, you know, example, hey, stop doing that. Don't do that anymore. You know, you'll regret it. Versus, stop doing that right now, or I'm gonna make sure that you regret it.
Right.
You know, so like, put a little fear in them to make them think. They won't forget that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and it's and even though both had different tones, different reactions, the sentiment is still the same.
Yeah.
It's coming from a place of love. It's
Yeah.
coming from a place of concern.
Yeah.
And the problem is that people don't like the second part.
I think what
You
it
know?
is people, part of what it is, because I think there's so many different levels and so many different things because so many different people are in so many different places. But it seems like sometimes it almost seems like we had something instinctually as kids that this generation just don't have instinctually at all. And when we were kids, we instinctually knew to respect our elders. We instinctually knew that they were older than us and they were here, and they're, well, in other words, for a lack of a better word, they were above us.
Yeah.
So therefore, we were children. We knew we were children. So therefore, we knew our places, I guess, if you want to put it like, you know how some people say, you know your
Yes.
place?
Yeah.
Okay. So now here it is. We have a bunch of people in the world that don't want to be told what to do.
Yeah.
Guess what? One of the things, as you were saying, that I always tried to do is like, when I was expressing my passion, I knew that sometimes I could be a bit passionate. And I really wasn't because I just wanted you to get it. It was just, I picked up my mother's dialect in another kind of way. I didn't pick up her dialect in her accent. I picked up her dialect in her reactive ways, her motions of her follow through is what I picked up. And because of that, I have a very stern way of saying things, and I'm not trying to be stern at all. I'm just trying to, it's just my passion comes out so forcefully.
Yeah.
So I always wind up telling people, stop looking at the way I'm saying it and just hear what I'm saying to you. Because when I'm saying to you, if it doesn't make sense, then okay. But I know for a fact I'm making sense, and I know you know I'm making sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's just that you don't like the way I'm coming across. Forget how I came across. Take the message. It's the moral of the story. If you listen to a horror movie, or somebody tells you a camp movie, right?
Yeah.
A camp, how do they have the campfire stories?
Yeah, okay.
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 Somebody tells you a campfire story, and they give you all these emotions, and they tell it really roughly. At the end of the story, you don't take what that man said as law, and that's the way you're supposed to feel, and that's the fear and the strength and the anger you're supposed to feel towards whatever the story is. You're supposed to take the story, what's inside the story,
Yeah.
let your imagination soak on it, chew it up in your brain, and then find a way where it works for you, if it may work for you.
Right.
So that's why I'm like, people are just, in my opinion, just being a little bit, sorry, y'all, if y'all don't like it, sensitive. Sensitive.
No, it needs to
You
be
don't
said.
have to be nasty to say your point, and you can still say your point with passion.
That's what I was going to.
but
Yes.
Don't be nasty.
That's what I was going to say. It's as long as you're not being disrespectful. Okay, if you're not talking down, if you're not belittling, if you're not just being nasty, like you said, the tone really shouldn't. It shouldn't matter. You know, that's not a you problem.
Yeah.
That's a them problem.
That's how they're
because
receiving it.
Because it's true. People are super sensitive now.
Let's say hypersensitive.
Okay.
Maybe
Yeah.
hypersensitive.
Yeah, just hypersensitive. I don't know whether it's because of like upbringing or the environment that they're just used to being in. Everything just needs to be positive and just rainbows, and like it's not that it's not positive. You know, some of you need to hear this. There's a serious problem right now with a lot of society. It's a serious problem.
Someone was saying to me that they think people just they want to interact and have happy all the time.
Can't be that. That's not
And
reality.
if you ask me, a lot of people aren't happy and they're faking the funk. I mean, happiness. Okay, this is something that I do for myself. I self entertain a lot because I grew up as an only child. So I self entertained myself a lot.
Yeah.
I always talk and laugh with myself.
Okay.
I truly enjoy my company a lot.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
That's all right.
a lot of times, for me, when I'm silly, I have, like, for instance, if I'm home, sometimes I will throw on some crazy looking clothes. And that's my groove for the day. And I'm dancing through the house at my job.
Yeah.
I like to dance while I'm at work.
That's awesome.
It don't have to be nobody in there. I got my headphones in, and I'm grooving while I'm doing my work because that helps me
Get through the day.
to have my joy.
Yeah. There it
That
is
helps
right
me to
there.
have my joy.
That's a word that we don't hear a lot.
Oh my
A lot
gosh,
of people
it
don't
helps
even
me to
have.
have, yeah.
A lot of people don't have joy. Like, I've seen people who don't smile, they don't laugh, they just look like the world just came crashing down every single day. Like, nowadays, people don't know how to take a joke.
No,
People, if you laugh and they looking at you like, why are you? What is so funny, or what are you laughing
I don't
at?
play that.
Why are you smiling
Why
so
you?
much?
What's so funny?
Like, look, man, like, I'm not gonna sit up here and be miserable because you are. If you want to be miserable, go right ahead.
Why you smiling? What were you smiling
I'm
at?
happy. I'm joyful.
I've had that happen to me
Have
too.
you, do
Why
you not
are you
experience?
smiling?
It's not your fault.
Yeah.
You know how to experience joy, and other people don't know how to experience it for themselves.
Yeah.
But you know what they always say: misery loves company.
Misery loves company, but sometimes people are going through things that make them so miserable they can't have that joy. They just don't feel it in their soul. I've been in a place where I was really angry for a long, long time, years. And I had my moments where I laughed and, here and there, but when it came to just being my normal pleasant self, I just wasn't there, and I couldn't conjure it up.
Yeah.
And I just was what I was until I wasn't what I was anymore. I had to search that anger. I had to feel it, to know it, to understand it, to search it. And the only way I was able to do that is with God.
Yes.
Because other than that, the anger will just turn in on you if you don't do it with God, in my opinion. It will turn in on you. And God is the one who actually gives you that open door for perspective to say, okay, all right, well, let's look at that. Let's look at that. There was a time where God took me, there's so many things that come to mind, because before I say that, I want to say this. I pray to God that you know how to be able to connect with your spirit with God.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand what that means, in my opinion. What that means, okay, that's something that's inside of you
Yes.
that is undescribable, that only you know and God knows. That thing that only you can describe. We can't even write it on a piece of paper because I don't know what to call it. But that connection, that relationship that you have with you and God inside, that is what you tap into. That is what carries you. That is what holds you. That's what is embracing you. That internal thing is actually His presence that is surrounding you, that is within you, that I can't explain how that happens.
Yeah.
But it's a God thing. And with that, when God took me to a place going through my transition,
Yeah.
I'm on my journey.
Okay.
And I've been on my journey for years. And believe it or not, so crazy. I mean, I've been on my journey for a long time, but one day I was in a bar. I
Okay.
was in a bar,
All right.
and this was a friend's bar, and it was a private. It was just his bar, and
Yeah.
God actually, we were having a good time talking. I was on the floor dancing by myself because it was only like two, three of us in there at the time because
Okay.
it's a personal bar. So
Yeah.
I'm in there dancing, enjoying myself, and then all of a sudden, I don't know, I just started telling God, thank you for certain, right? I was just like, thank you for this and thank you for that. And I guess I was, in my joy. And I was like, thank you, God, just doing what I do. And sure enough, before you knew it, the Holy Spirit took over me and put me on my knees in that bar.
Oh.
He put me on
Yeah.
my knees in
Yeah.
that bar, and all I could do was give him praise. I'm snotting, the tears is
Yeah.
flowing. I'm laughing, I'm crying, I'm thanking, I'm praising.
Yeah.
And I got up. When
Yeah.
I got up, I looked at them. I was like, you know what? I gotta go. Just like that, I was like, yeah, I gotta go.
I gotta get
I was
out of
like, you
here.
know what? I love you. I will be back.
Yeah.
I'll come in. I'm not going, but I gotta go.
Yeah.
God is taking me in another direction.
Right. See ya.
Bye. God is taking me in another direction.
Right.
And I've been on that particular new started journey ever since up to now.
Yeah.
Now, in that period of time, there was those few months when if it's like he took me in like this and said, okay, now here, come on, it's me and you now, and I'm taking you in and I'm going to work on you. I'm going to show you. I'm going to be all of that. And I literally, like, I closed myself in and I tried to keep people, I really tried to keep people out. I kept most of the people out. There was one in particular, she just would not go.
Go away.
And she actually interrupted mine. She interrupted that, and I forgive, I forgive her for it because that was one thing where I truly had to learn how to forgive somebody for because I was really angry that she interrupted my moment with God,
Yeah.
and I was angry. I wound up repenting later because I didn't realize that it was a strength in me that I was supposed to pull from to remove that.
Yeah.
And I didn't remove that because I didn't understand what I was dealing with spiritually. And that was one of the things that God was also trying to teach me. He was trying to also, I have the boldness, but he was trying to give me the strength.
Okay.
And I didn't have the strength. And I realized at that when I moved past that situation, I realized it was the strength
Okay.
that I did not have to remove that block out of my way.
Right.
Okay. So what God did in that period of time, and it was so funny, it was just before this young lady interrupted my flow, God took me to my childhood. And in a way where it was like a dream while you're awake.
Oh. Oh.
And he allowed me to see literally like from when I was wee little and how courageous I was.
Yeah.
I was a little bold thing though.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was courageous. And now he showed me another period of time where I stood up, and he showed me another period of time where I stood up again, and I stood up and I stood up. And it really helped me to see that was something, this boldness is actually something he planted inside me on purpose.
Yeah. It's a gift.
Because I didn't know that it was something that he gave me on purpose. More or less at that time, I just thought maybe it might be bad manners from my mama.
No, blame mama. Hey, we just talked about. Remember, we talked about like genetics and DNA and personality configuration and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes you just can't help the way that you are. I got a son, my youngest. I love him, of course. And he's the one that gets on my nerves the most.
Uh-huh.
And then the more I look at him, the more I pay attention. I'm like, damn, man, we act just alike. That's why. That's what it is.
It's amazing. And that is something also that, again, talking about this journey with God, because that really is all that I have. This journey with God also is allowing me to see how much that I did not realize I picked up
uh,
from my parents that weren't necessarily mine, that I was living. And
yeah.
I was wind up getting myself in my own words, I'm going to say, in not in trouble in the sense of trouble out in the street, just my interactions were not right.
Mm.
My goings and comings seemed to always have some type of disturbance.
Right.
And I didn't realize that it was because of a lot of things that I picked up that I didn't even know were habits or traits
Passed down.
that were passed down that were not mine. But I'm living and I'm under trying to figure out why is this not working for me. It's because it wasn't mine.
Yeah.
I wasn't doing it out of what I knew. Out of, it's hard to say. It's like, how much of you is your parents and how much of you is you?
That's a good question. That's a good question, because this is a word that's commonly, or a phrase that's commonly used nowadays is, generational
Generation curse,
curses.
yeah.
Some people say generational curse, some people say generational trauma, or just generational traits, or whatever you want to. If you want to call it a curse, or you want to call it a trait, or you want to call it trauma, whatever you want to call it. There are things that we do inherit from our parents.
Mm-hmm.
And it's from your parents. If you look at your parents and you remember mom and dad used to do this, or they used to do that, or used to talk this way, or used to talk that way, or they used to, like, example, like I've heard of, like, men being abusive to, their partner or
Mm-hmm.
girlfriend or whatever, because they saw their dad being abusive to their mom. So because that wrongdoing wasn't corrected when they were a child,
Mm-hmm.
they carried that over into, like, adulthood. Think, well, my dad did it. Anytime mom got out of line, my dad would just do that. So I guess that's just a way to get her to act right. Let me just go ahead and put hands on her,
Yeah.
which we all know isn't right, of course. But again, monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah.
You pass down,
Yeah.
or raising your voice, yelling all the time.
Yeah.
We know yelling doesn't get anything solved, but maybe this person was yelled at when they were
Mm-hmm.
a child.
Yeah.
Maybe they had a parent that yelled all the time, or like my mom. I've talked about my family on my channel, so it's not really.
Mm-hmm.
You even said it about 30 minutes ago, like you're not exactly like where you would like to be with your family. And it's the same with me.
Mm-hmm.
My mom, yelled a lot, coming up. And that's just that's what I remember. She yelled a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
And I had to, like, catch myself when I would do that, like, raise my voice.
Mm-hmm.
But the difference is, subconsciously, I'm like, you don't have to, like, you don't have to do that. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to
Yeah.
raise your voice to get your
Yeah.
point across.
Yeah.
You don't have to demand respect. They already respect you. So why are you yelling?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to yell.
Yeah.
So
It does become a trained habit.
yeah,
I had to get out of it because I didn't like it myself. And by God's grace, my relationship, I haven't had a yelling relationship since my ex-husband. That was a yelling relationship
like back and forth
every
always.
day,
Yeah,
every day, and for throughout the day.
right.
And I'm not a person that likes to argue and fuss like that. I think that you can talk to anybody about anything if you, like you said, if you do it respectfully and sometimes kind, and sometimes you gotta swallow your pride to tell some. You have to swallow your pride in order to tell somebody what you need them to hear sometimes.
Yeah,
And the reason why I said is because you need to come down off your horse so that way you can be on the ground
yeah,
and actually address this person
yeah.
where they are.
Yeah, okay, I was gonna say that. You got me right where they at. Um, just to kind of piggyback a little bit, you said you can talk to anybody, just about anybody about anything. There's some people you can't talk to about just anything. Like, let's just say somebody
No.
that is, like, sensitive in a certain area, or anytime you've observed how they react. So it's like, okay, like, let me think of somebody. Shoot, I know that it's the season. We ain't gonna make this about this,
Yeah, I
but
know.
let's
That's
just
just
say about, like, all right.
that
I'm just
one,
saying.
that one.
Yeah,
That
it's just certain people you can't talk to about
No,
certain
you
things.
can't.
Like,
So
if I'm talking, like, politics, for instance, right? Now we already know that politics is, like,
Politics
it's the
and
big two.
religion.
It's the big two. It's a part of the big two, religion
Politics
and
and
politics.
religion. Yep.
But with me, I'm a type of person, I don't care. Like if you want to talk about it, let's talk about it. I can put my feelings to the side.
Thank
But
you.
some people can't.
They can't. It's okay
Yeah.
for you to like that person, and it's okay that I do not want to mention these people's
No,
names.
you don't know. Don't say no
Let's
names.
say it's okay for you to like Puppet One and not Puppet Two,
Okay.
because that person likes Puppet Two. You're supposed to like Puppet Two too, and you can't say anything bad about Puppet Two. What's wrong that you don't like Puppet One? How about I'm not getting upset because you don't like Puppet One? How come you can't take it the same way? It's a thought, it's an opinion, it's someone's feeling. They have the right to feel that way. If they don't agree with it, then they don't agree with it, and it's okay to disagree without having to have some type of
Yes.
anger attached to it. Everybody
Yes.
got everybody can't like the same ice cream.
No. Can't like the same movies.
They don't like the same movies.
Same music.
Don't like the same shoes. Don't like the same music. Are we all supposed to get irate and pissed off because somebody say, I like this artist versus that artist?
No, I would hope not.
Talk, feel what I want you to feel. Be happy when I'm happy. Be angry when I'm angry. Be by my side when I'm angry. Whether if I'm right or wrong, it doesn't matter that I'm wrong. You should be by my side anyway.
Right.
I don't know what's going on with society. I think it's,
People don't agree to disagree anymore.
no, they just get
They
angry.
just get mad.
That's it. They just get mad.
Like, oh,
and just
you-
about want to fight because you don't believe in what they believe in or like what they
gosh.
like.
Well,
What's going on?
I don't know.
Why y'all so angry? Why don't you
Well, this could go in a
just,
whole other direction, but just society in
take
general,
some
like if you just
time.
pay attention to just the way that things are being shifted or grafted, should I say, that everybody it's being crafted in a way to where they want everybody on the same page.
Thank you for using that
Everybody
word.
to walk at the same beat, to go in the
Crafted.
same direction, to just be one. I'm like, I got a problem with that.
Have you seen a thing called, I don't know, I haven't really looked into it, but they're talking about how in 2025 the singularity is supposed to be the thing or whatever the case may be.
Yeah,
Now,
hold on.
didn't God say the thing, that's the very thing he don't want? Okay, singularity. Okay, singularity. Really think about it, about singularity. We have millions, billions of people on this planet.
Yeah,
Everybody wants to be an individual,
right.
but no one wants to be an original.
Damn.
Everyone wants to they want to be an individual, but also be like everybody else.
Yep. Yep.
But yet, don't treat me any differently, but treat me differently.
I make it make sense.
The thing is, I don't think it makes sense to them.
Oh,
I don't think they even have. I'm okay, because forgive me, y'all, because sometimes when I said them, I've been going through some things where with people that people have got me really being scared and sensitive with certain words or the way that I speak or the way that I would
Yeah.
like to be able to have my conversation.
yeah.
And I'm not shirking anybody for whatever anybody else believes, but my words, um, I don't mean them with any malice, and I don't mean them with any hatred. I don't mean them with any meanness. There's no agenda to them. It's just me having a conversation and using the words that come to my mind at the moment. Um,
Authentic.
yeah,
We don't get that
I love,
anymore.
I think people, I think one are afraid to self exploration, self examination, self reflection
Yeah.
is one of the most beautiful things you can ever do for yourself in the world. And honesty to yourself, straight
Yes.
up honesty.
Yeah.
Raw honesty to yourself. Don't nobody has to hear what you got going on in your head when you know that you done did something you weren't supposed to do or acted the way you weren't supposed to act. You can straighten yourself out because you know right from wrong.
Yeah.
You know right from wrong.
Exactly.
You just want what you want. What is the difference between right and wrong and you just wanting what you want? Do you even know what that is? Do you even know why you've made the decision that you made? Do you know how you got there? Stop looking outside to say, okay, it's that chair's fault why I had to walk around the table. The chair was already there.
Yes, for you.
The chair was already there. So guess what? That's just the path you have to go. And it's not have to do with the chair being there that you have to walk around. That's the way the path goes. That's one.
Yes.
Number two, okay. Why did it upset you so much deep down in your soul? Why did you get that angry over having to walk around a chair anyway? The chair is there. The person is there. What made you so angry deep inside yourself that you felt that should have been moved out of your way? How do you feel so high and mighty in yourself that because that person or that chair is there, that they should move out of your way?
Yeah.
Because you're coming through, not because of anything else or that they deserved it or don't deserve it. But that's something I think that's kind of what I was telling myself. I don't know how to think of myself that high-minded.
Yeah, it's arrogance.
I don't know how to think of myself that high-minded. I had a friend of mine some years ago. I had just got my car, and we were just a simple fan at Dollar Tree. You hear me? And he was like, "You need to pull up to the front door." Okay. You need to pull up to the front door.
Wow.
Why?
Because it's him. Because it's me. Who are you?
I never, I don't have that inside me. I don't know what that is. And I don't understand how a person
I get it.
thinks. Well, explain it to me because I don't know.
But entitlement, number one.
How do you feel so entitled? I guess,
again,
how?
because some people feel like they're God's gift to people. Like there are literally people who feel that way.
Yeah,
we may not. Look,
yeah, I can't comprehend it.
I had a therapist tell me something a couple of years ago. I went through some stuff. And she told me, she said, the mistake that you're making is thinking that everybody is like you.
Oh, yeah.
She said, everybody's not like you.
Oh,
there are other people who are, they are who they are. And you need to identify that. If you keep thinking that everyone's supposed to be like you, you're going to keep getting disappointed. So I'm like, dang, man, like, you're right. Like, there's literally people out here who don't love people, who don't care about people, who don't consider the feelings of other people, and who just think that they're the only person on the planet and that everybody needs to bow down to them, move out of the way for them, do for them, just because it's them.
I can't even fathom how one's mind can conceive that gloriousness to themselves. I don't even know. I mean, because that's how I see it.
It's pride.
That's how I see it. I don't even know. I have no idea. I don't know. You know what? Me, I think it's just the opposite. I have to learn how to see myself. It's not that I see myself as some horrible person. Yeah. It's not that I'm downing on myself, but I just don't see myself. I don't see myself in a glorious way that I feel that I'm special.
Yeah.
I know that I'm special in God's eyes. Right. I'm learning, I heard Steve Harvey say this on a show, and I thought that was the coolest thing. He was like, I'm one of God's favorites. And as soon as he said that, I understood what he meant. We're one of God's favorites. Yeah. That makes me feel special right there. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's not just to say, I don't know. There's a part of my brain just now just said, don't try to put everything on God and make God. No, I'm telling you. That is the only way that I do feel special. Really. Because life don't make you feel special.
No, it sure doesn't. It makes you feel like crap if you look at it from that perspective.
Life don't make you feel special. So in life, no, I do not feel special. I do not. But in God, knowing that God is the only thing really, honestly, that gives me any of that to make me feel like I'm anything at all. And that's the only thing I could say. He really does. He's the only reason why I feel like I'm anything at all in that sense. I would not. I'm not going to go buy myself a pair of shoes if there's, hypothetically, there's someone outside that, homeless person, let's just say, homeless person. It could be a kid. It could be anybody. Okay. There's something outside of you that is lacking.
and you have the ability, you are a little better in a little bit better place than that person at the moment.
Okay.
Even if you're not much better in that place, but you're still in a better place.
Okay.
I can't see myself. I can't see myself feeling so high and mighty of myself that I'm going to go in here and I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to go buy me $100 pair of shoes. I know that homeless person outside and their shoes is busted up and raggedy.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go in here, screw that person. I'm going to go ahead and go get me $100 shoes because I want to pay $100 shoes because I deserve a $100 pair of shoes because I work for my $100 shoes. So screw him.
Yeah.
I'm not knocking you buying $100 shoes.
Okay.
But there's something I have to say that's inside of me that I would hope to be inside of other people, which I do believe God has blessed all of us to have this ability, is to be kind of thoughtful to another person.
Yeah.
So I may not go and buy him another $100 pair of shoes. I may only have $10 in my pocket where I could buy him a pair of shoes or a pair of slippers or ask him or just give him the 10, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But we have to do that. We need to do that. It would be kind if we do that in so many different areas in our lives. Just like you, because believe it or not, you are that person that, how do I put it, God? It's like you're let's say you're a store.
Okay.
I come into your store and I need some shoes. You are the person that say, well, what kind of shoes you looking for? You looking for some orthopedic shoes?
Right. Running
You
shoes.
looking for some running shoes?
Yeah.
Because I can, if I can help you with what you need, I'll help you with what you need.
Yeah.
Is your price? What's your price range looking like? How deep are you going with this? How high are you going with this? Okay, and that's one of the things that I love about you. You meet people. You try to meet people where they are, and that's what I'm saying. You know, I love to enjoy people, and I love people to love people, and I wish to God people would love each other more. I wish we would take each other into more consideration, with more kindness. One of the things that really helped me as an individual, and I probably got off track here from what we started talking about,
fine.
but one of the things that really helped me, and going back to that self-reflection, that angry period, that confused period, that, I mean, wanting to die period.
Oh, man.
I am so thankful that when I said that, it took me back somewhere, and I kind of, all those things, it kind of lost my train of thought a little bit. We all need one another.
Yes, we do.
I don't care if you don't want to believe it, but we all need one another. We need one another because God placed us here to be here for one another.
That's right.
And the reason, it does not mean that you have to cradle somebody, but it does mean to sometimes lift people up. It does mean sometimes you got to grab their hand and pull them forward. Sometimes it means you got to say, you know what, it's time for you to sit down. Just sit down.
Yeah.
We need to be here for one another, one way or the other. You know what, the one thing, and I think now I'm being random, one of the things that I said, one of the things I was like, you know what, society, the government messing around, one thing you are not going to do, and I'm no expert, I do not have these higher elites education, but common sense says this to me. You're going to go mess around with the natural, not a word won't come to my mouth. What is the thing when you say with the invited,
ecosystem.
Thank you.
Ecosystem, yeah.
Thank you. Yo, you're going to go around and mess with the ecosystem. It just does not want to come out of my mouth.
Ecosystem.
The ecosystem.
All right.
You're going to go around messing around with the ecosystem of the human beings
Yeah.
and of this planet.
Right.
and it's going to screw you. She is going to fight back. It is going to fight back because how God set the natural order of things, you are not going to disturb the natural order that God set it unless He chooses for it to be so. And if He chooses it to be so, trust me, there's still going to be some type of consequence that you're going to learn because you're going against the grain. That's just inevitable. Period.
Yeah, we already see
Period.
that now. I mean, we
And
already,
that's one of the things that the government really truly needs to understand, in my opinion, overall. You cannot mess with the ecosystem of the natural way of the natural order of things the way it's supposed to go. Is going to have backlash.
you know something.
Period.
We probably should save that right there for another episode talking about
No, I'm
the
not talking about
government.
no. I'm not talking about the government. I was saying that because I was talking about the ecosystem of how we are functioning with one another.
I got you. Okay.
That's what I was talking
All
about.
right.
That's really what I'm getting. I'm not talking about the government.
Okay.
They're going to do what they're going to do.
Yeah.
And there's nothing I can do about that. There's no
Of course.
opinion I'm going to make that's going to shake anything on those grounds. So
Yeah.
it's not about talking about the government. It's just talking about, in my sense of talking about the government, it's a sense of we are changing so much as human beings.
Yes. Constantly evolving.
We're changing so much as human beings that we're getting to the point where we don't trust one another. We don't talk to one another. We don't help one another. And I think that's what I was talking about, the homeless people and all that. We bypass one another. We bypass a child in help. We bypass a person in need. We bypass because it doesn't suit us. It doesn't feel good to us. Or it's not convenient for us at the moment, or we don't even want to hear all of that, or I got my own problems. All of that.
Right.
And I think that I went around
Orbit.
I went around the orbit of all those things, and I put it all on the world of Tracy.
That was the whole point right here.
So-
Like, the whole point, like I said, we've been up here for a hot minute.
Yeah.
But the whole point of us doing this is just so that you could just give us like just a small smidget of you, and you've done that. I've been saying this to you for the longest. I feel like you need to be expressing everything that you're expressing right now in front of a lot of people, in my opinion. I really do.
Scary.
Right now, we're in a little lounge
Scary.
area right now. You never know. I'm like, hey, Tracy, so I got an opportunity for you.
Yeah,
Come speak in front of some young adults. Them the ones that need to hear this type of stuff. The kids, the teenagers, the people in their 20s. They're the ones that them the future leaders right there. We're here. We're still trying to hold down the fort, but at the same time, they need to hear everything. The things that you have to say. So, we're gonna close this out. So we've run out of time. Is
Thank
there
you.
anything that, because people are gonna see this, and I think this is a lot of people are gonna see this.
Honestly, scary.
So is this anything that you would like to say to the men and the women and even the teenagers and stuff that watch, these videos?
Wow.
Just any closing remarks.
Wow. I think that I'll say to the world the same thing I think I say to myself, which is, one, don't buckle to the ground. Only get on your knees to give God thanks, praise, and to give Him His prayers and to seek Him. But don't let life make you buckle. You're strong and you're beautiful in so many ways that it's unimaginable. I don't want anyone to ever think that they are less than. I'm not less than. You're not less than. We are more than. I want to say they want more than conquerors, but I want to say more than. I just want to say something different than more than conquerors. You are. God has blessed you with even that much of something that is supposed to come from you outward to the world. That's going to bless the world, bless you, bless an individual. Please don't disconnect from each other. Please don't be mean to one another. Allow somebody sometimes to give you advice. When someone is talking to you and they're telling you things, sometimes it's not about mess. Sometimes they just need somebody to be that person.
Yeah.
Have something inside yourself that makes yourself be disciplined in the area to keep it to yourself and just be there for that person if you can. And if they don't want to receive it, at least you were there and you did your part, and then let it go, because you can't make anybody do anything. Love yourself, but don't love yourself so much that you are down on everybody else. Don't love yourself so much that you are above anything and have so much attitude. It's ugly. Be kind, be loving, be safe, stay beautiful. Allow your God given talents to be a blessing to others. And thank you so much for your time. Thank you for listening. I hope I did not offend anyone. And I pray that whatever I've said and sharing some of my story is helpful. And God bless you all. Until next time.
Right, right. Well, thank you so much, Tracy, for I know I just saw you yesterday, but I've been wanting to sit down with you for a while now, but really, really appreciate you for taking the time out your day and coming on
It
here
was
and
cool.
sitting here with me on the couch.
It was cool.
I got a feeling this won't be the last time. I feel like it'll be another time in the future, I'm sure.
I really didn't even realize it was going to be this, but it was okay for me because I don't know. I just enjoy doing stuff. I enjoy doing stuff, and honestly, to tell you the truth, I am fearful. It's just that I've had so many rough experiences
Yeah,
that I just pray that all will be well.
right. Yeah. But the road is bright. That was a great closing message. So, but thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Hopefully, everybody out there enjoyed this. Let us know what you think. If you want to see more sit downs like this, I can arrange that. Make sure you comment down below, like the video, and subscribe if you're new. Have a great day.
Thank you.